My life would be easier without you, she said while I was washing the dishes. I didn't argue. I didn't even flinch. I simply grabbed my keys and the black envelope I'd hidden 18 months ago. By the time she tried to leave for yoga 20 minutes later, everything she thought was hers had vanished. My name is Eli Turner. I'm 42 years old, and until 3 months ago, I was married to a woman who forgot I existed long before she decided to tell me. We have 2 kids, Sophia, 15, sharp and full of questions, and Tyler, 13, quieter but always watching. They were the only reason I stayed as long as I did. Well, them and the fact that I'm the kind of fool who thought persistence could substitute for being wanted. I worked in supply chain management for a regional distributor. Nothing glamorous, but steady. I handled operations for a network of distribution centers in the city. Shipping, order fulfillment, inventory. It was methodical work, and I was good at it. Sarah used to joke that I treated our marriage like one of my distribution systems, always monitoring, always adjusting. She stopped joking about it around year 10. By year 14, she stopped talking altogether. The morning it ended started just like any other. Tuesday, October 5th, I was rinsing my coffee mug when she walked into the kitchen, already dressed for yoga, phone in one hand, car keys in the other. She didn't look at me. "You forgot to take out the trash again," she said flatly. I glanced at the bin. It wasn't full. "I'll get it tonight." "That's what you said yesterday." "Then I'll do it now." "Don't bother," she said, her tone final. "You'll just forget again." I set my mug down, the water still running. I turned it off and faced her. Something in her posture told me this wasn't about the trash. It never was. "What's this really about?" I asked quietly. She finally looked at me. For the first time in weeks, really looked at me. And what I saw in her eyes wasn't anger. It was indifference. "My life would be easier without you," she said again. Not shouting, not whispering, just stating it matter-of-factly, like she was reading off a grocery list. I stood there, letting the words settle. 16 years, 2 kids, a mortgage, thousands of small compromises and late-night conversations, and all of it was reduced to one sentence delivered without emotion. I didn't argue. I didn't ask her to take it back. I simply nodded, grabbed my keys and wallet from the hall table, and walked out the front door. It was 7:43 a.m. I didn't slam the door. I didn't look back. I got in my truck, started the engine, and drove off while she probably stood in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone, oblivious to what I was about to do. What she didn't know, what she couldn't have known, is that I'd been preparing for this moment for 18 months. I drove to the parking lot by Lakeview Cove, about 15 minutes from the house. It's one of those spots only locals know, tucked behind an old warehouse district that had been abandoned for years. I parked facing the water, pulled out my phone, not the iPhone Sarah knew about, but a burner phone I'd been carrying for the past year. I opened the app I'd built myself. Simple interface, clean design, one button. I labeled it Reset. My finger hovered over it for a moment. Then I pressed it. The script I'd written 18 months ago began executing. It was elegant, really. Years of handling distribution systems had taught me one crucial skill: how to shut down a system completely, leaving no room for manual override. The first thing the script did was change every password on every account tied to our home network. Router, thermostat, security cameras, garage door opener, even the smart locks I'd installed last Christmas. Sarah had thought they were a gift. They were, just not for her. Second, it rerouted the banking alerts. Our joint checking account, the one she thought we still shared, had quietly been converted 6 months ago. I was the primary account holder, she was just an authorized user, past tense as of 8:03 that morning. Third, it triggered automated emails to our insurance company, mortgage lender, and 3 utility providers. Each email contained a formal notice of separation, notarized and signed 14 months ago during a business trip to San Diego that wasn't really a business trip. I sat by the cove, watching the water, checking my watch. It was 8:14. She'd be trying to leave for yoga right about now. My phone buzzed. Her name lit up the screen. I let it ring. Again. And again. By the 4th call, I turned it off completely. The burner stayed on. I opened my email and saw the first automated confirmation. Insurance policy restructured. Single holder effective immediately. Another. Bank access updated. New credentials required.
Another. Mortgage account. Primary contact information updated. Each notification felt like a door closing. Not slamming, just clicking shut. I thought about Sophia and Tyler. They were at school by now. Sophia had early band practice. Tyler had math tutoring. Neither of them knew what their mother had said to me that morning. Neither of them knew what I'd been planning for a year and a half. But they would. Soon enough, they would. By 9:30, I had a meeting with Victor Chen, who ran a small supply chain consulting firm in a neighboring town. I was hired as a consultant, but really, it was more of an escape plan. Victor wasn't family, and he didn't know me from anyone. He just needed someone who understood logistics and was looking for a fresh start. When I got home that evening, Sarah was standing in the garage, staring at the keypad like it had personally betrayed her. She tried entering the code. It didn't work. She tried the app. Nothing. She called me 17 times, texted 12 messages, starting with confusion and escalating to anger. What is going on? This is insane. I didn't respond. At 10:15, she called her mother. I know because my lawyer had arranged for a contact at the phone company to flag certain calls. Legal, under the separation clause I'd filed months ago. By 9 a.m., she was sitting in the kitchen, surrounded by the pieces of a life she'd dismantled without realizing she was holding the hammer. The next morning, she tried again. She called, sent desperate texts, but I stayed silent. I had already made my decision, and the truth of the matter was, I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. When the day came for the divorce settlement, I wasn't worried. I had the evidence, I had the kids on my side, and I knew this was the only way I could finally breathe again.